Carolina.
And how do you study for a test?
So I usually make flashcards a couple days in advance, and I also like to make quizzes online so I can do it on the go and practice, like in the car and stuff.
With
Isabel?
And how do you study for a test?
Well, I usually don't study in advance, and like 5 minutes before the test, that's when I usually study. I use like Bookit, Gimkit, like one of those things just to get into like some late studying, because I'm just one of those people who procrastinate all day.
I'm here with
Maya.
And how do you study for a test?
I use the study guide that my teacher gives me. And some flashcards.
Zofia.
And how do you study for a test?
I usually make flashcards or I go over the stuff that we did in class.
And how many days in advance do you study?
Maybe like 3 or 4.
Okay, thank you.
Anthony.
And how do you guys study for a test?
So how I study for a test is I read like it and then I write it down, but I know how to study real good because during broadcasting we are actually doing the subject too, and we did it first. So I know very much about this topic. So that's how I study. I like to read, I like to research, and I like to write it down so I get A+ every test.
And I use Quizlet and Gizmos and
Bookit.
Bookit, yeah.
Oh, I gotta. And sometimes I'll go to the library to really lock in my focus.
That's really smart. I should do that next time.
Yep.
I never thought about
Hey, you
that.
want to go together?
Yeah, let's go today.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you.
Miss
Thank
Greiser.
you. And what's the best study method for students?
I feel that as a math teacher, the study guide is the most effective, but not so much just doing it and then putting it away, but solving it, looking over the answer key, and then I'm a big advocate for kind of like talking to yourself and explaining the problem solving and the steps you did, the why and the how. I just did that yesterday with some of my students in my accelerated course. We weren't really studying, but we were reflecting upon some problems that we solved, and all I asked for was what were the steps? Like, talk to me, talk to yourself about how did you solve it and what made sense to you.
And is that the most effective way to study?
I think it is. I think I'm just going from a personal experience. That is something that I've always done, is that I do have to kind of sit there and talk to myself and, again, reason about the why and the how. That conversation should be going on in your head as you are taking a test, or even further in high school, like an SAT or even an ACT.
129 people responded saying that they use a study guide to study for a test, and they begin to study for a test a few days in advance.